Oh crap! I don't have a freaking model up. I'll fix that. Sorry, I will fix that. I'm all out of sorts right now. Give me 1 second. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's coming. Oh dear. I don't know which one to use. Let's just go with that one. Hello subbies, welcome to stream. I hope that you're all having a nice whatever day this is afternoon. Is it Wednesday? It's not Friday yet, is it? No, it's not Friday yet. Hope you're all having a nice Wednesday afternoon. Welcome to my stream. Thank you so much, Ryan, for being here. Ryan Wang is the person who developed Methods Official, which is the game that we're going to be playing today. So courtesy to LockedOn and Ryan, we were able to get a key for this game. So thank you so much for that. I'm excited to play this game. It looks quite funny. And I love detective games, and I just love mystery games in general. As most people on this channel are probably aware, I play a lot of them. So this is kind of a shoe-in for my channel. Do not be alarmed by the cowbells. I may or may not be dressed as a cow right now. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started with the stream. I have never worn elbow-length gloves. This is a weird sensation, and I imagine this is probably how Dom feels like every freaking day. All right, so I didn't adjust any settings beforehand because I don't really know what to expect. We may have to adjust some on the fly. I also don't know if this runs with a controller or not, or if it should be played with keyboard and mouse. So we're just kind of gonna find out all this by ourselves, live, together. That's the fun of streaming, right? It's actually not all that cold in this outfit. It really isn't. The gloves are really warm. I actually think the gloves are my favorite part. My least favorite part is probably the bra. And yes, someone gifted this to me. And I just decided I wanted to put it on. Alright, let's check out these settings, which you cannot hear because I don't have the game on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we got full screen, we got windowed, skip scene text, show all transitions, show no transitions. Ooh, that's interesting. We got some text speed. I tend to read faster than most, so I will leave that at slow. The audio is a bit loud on my end, but that's just because I didn't have my tuner turned down. If it's loud on your end, please let me know and I will adjust it. Let's get into it. Let's just get going. I'm assuming chapters is how we get going. Oh, there we go. Got it. It took me a while to figure that out. I don't know why. All right, chapter 1, action called, but I'm on hold. A mysterious call, a mysterious contest, a mysterious beginning. If you're wondering why I haven't said too much about this game, I kind of want to let it be a surprise. I know a little bit about it just because I was told about it, but this is a really interesting concept, and I don't really want to say too much about it because I want to let you see it for yourself. So we're gonna experience it together. A tall apartment building blocked my view of the sky. It was giant, and suddenly I felt like a small and pitiful man despite my vast experience, huge accomplishments, and, excuse my honesty, dashing good looks. I'm Detective Hackett, and despite feeling dwarfed by the complex in front of me, I had a job to do. In this building resided the most diabolical criminals alive. Ooh. There was a chance one of them would be walking free, according to the note in my hand. I wasn't about to let that happen. I twisted the doorknob and stepped inside. You might want to lower the resolution because it's hard to read. Was there an option for that? There is not an option for that. Maybe windowed mode? Did that help? Let's find out. Ooh. No, I don't think it did. I don't have an option for that, unfortunately. So I'm not sure that I can. Unless I were to, like, go into maybe Steam settings might have something. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to do it. I twisted the doorknob and stepped inside. The music is very espionage so far. I opened the door to a small antechamber. A young woman in an official-looking suit with a name tag that read #greeter waited. I wondered if she was trying to be hip or something, but now wasn't the time for griping and feeling old. Do you have the note? I think so. I took out my papery friend from my pocket. She took it and glanced over it quickly before shining a flashlight on it. Good. It's legit. She ripped the note in half. Well, that's rude. Here's your name hashtag. Please wait for the first announcement of the day. Ooh. I looked at the name tag. It read, hashtag thinks with fists. I like this job already. I began to saunter over to the comfy-looking couches when the greeter grabbed me by the shoulder. Wait. I've been warned about you, Mr. Think with Fists. The Game Master asks that you dispose of all weapons on your person before you take part in the contest. Fine. I dropped my Steed 46 and my Merrill. And my Colt 45. It was a shame because I really needed them for this. I didn't want to be in a building with a bunch of murderous criminals unarmed. I wrestled internally for a few minutes. There was so much wrestling going on. Ugh! Yes? Wait, there's one more. I handed over the hidden gun and blew it a kiss goodbye as the greeter stuffed it into a bag marked confiscation. Hey, thanks for giving that up. Honesty goes a long way in this contest. I gave her a half smile I didn't really mean, and trudged through the doors onto the main floor. What seemed to be hundreds of detectives milled to and fro. The collective body heat was staggering. In fact, I staggered, briefly. I edged over to a couch, trying to avoid anyone smelly or overly loquacious. Another detective appeared to be attempting the same thing, a tall, dark-haired, bespectacled man. It's way more crowded than I thought it would be. Cut to the chase, what do you want? I'd left tact at the altar long ago. Ah, yes, the chase. If I had to guess, that's what you're all about. Judging from your name hashtag, anyway. You know it. I hate these code names. They're pointless. Knowing that my real name is Coles doesn't change anything. It's just a bland way to be funny. Coles was irritating me, but I really didn't want to move. Thankfully, Coles seemed to either not know what to say next, or he didn't care. I was appropriately appreciative. I'm glad you finally shut up. I don't care what you're glad about. He was interrupted by a loud jingle. Hello, you can call me the Game Master. Oh boy, here we go. Shh, be quiet. What a jerk. You are now all part of a contest where we pit the greatest detectives against the greatest criminals. In each stage, criminals will construct a crime scene, and then the detectives will solve it. Sounds good so far. I can't wait. Stage rankings will be determined by how quickly you complete each stage, with the fastest coming in first. Got it. Would you be quiet? Yeah. We will eliminate detectives and criminals each stage until we are down to just one criminal and one detective who will face off in the final stage. If the detective wins, they get $1 million, but if the criminal wins, they not only get $1 million, but they are also given parole. The room suddenly got quiet as we all realized at the same moment that, because of the elimination process, the smartest, most dangerous criminal would be the one to walk free if the detective lost. This Game Master must have significant pull in the judicial system. Noted for later. I was starting to suspect that Coles was secretly an idiot like me. He was just more pretentious about it. Make your way to the elevators. Further instructions await you. You know, you don't strike me as the right kind of person for this contest. Oh? Actually, you might as well give up now. Cole shot me a cold, steely glare. These mysteries are for more calculative types, not intuitives like you. Your name tag says it all. You're a man of action in a mental-based world. You've got no chance. I didn't have time for his petty games. I headed towards the nearest elevator. The doors began to close, but then... Loser! What the... What the heck was that? Cole's words had shaken me, but I couldn't let him get me down. I had a contest to win. It was a nervous-looking detective near the back of the elevator. Which floor do we get off on? Spoke too soon, Mr. Ricotta. He grimaced. We all shambled out into a long hallway. Nice place. Hashtag thinks with fists and hashtag Ricotta for life. Please enter door 13. The nervous detective from the elevator followed me into the room as the game master directed the other detectives. So what's your real name? Ricotta for life looked at the floor in embarrassment. It's... Mouse. Detective Mouse. I'm sorry, I know it's stupid, but it's my real name. This was going to be a difficult contest to endure. I welcome you to stage 1. This mystery is called Eternally Checked In. Please take a moment to look over the case file. It contains a brief summary. Case file. Mr. and Mrs. Turnip were checked into the Drop Dead Inn. At 6:26 a.m., Miss Turnip left the hotel to eat breakfast, as she claimed. Mr. Turnip was found dead at 7:30 a.m. by the cleaner. The door was locked from the inside when the crime was discovered. You do not have access to the autopsy report. Special bonus. What piece of evidence is irrelevant? Interesting. Alright. Seems pretty clear. Solve it under 5 minutes and you'll place in the runners-up, but still make it in time to continue. Solve it in under 1 minute and you'll be in the top 3. You mean there will be more than one detective who will be able to solve this in under 1 minute? Mouse, it's pre-recorded. He can't answer your question. Incorrect. I'm talking to you live. Well, color me surprised. You're right, Detective Mouse. There are 3 master detectives who we expect hold the top rankings in this little competition, so for the sake of fairness, if any detective other than them gets it in under 1 minute, they can steal one of the top 3 positions. What? How's that fair to the master detectives? You wouldn't ask that if you knew just how good these detectives are. Frankly, if anyone else manages to get it under a minute, then they deserve to rank with the best. Unfortunately, there's no time for further questions. The timer starts. The game master paused for dramatic effect. I rolled my eyes. Now. Here we go. Chapter 2, Scaredy Mouse. Detective Hackett has just met his new detective partner, who he is expected to work with in the detective competition. Together, they must solve the first in a series of locked room mysteries that make up Stage 1. Only a few seconds had elapsed since the Game Master's announcement. I was already figuring out ways to slack off and leave it to Mouse. But Mouse didn't seem too confident either. Okay, first things first. Let's see what sort of fish we'll be frying. Okay. I led Mouse into the apartment, which had been decked out to look like a hotel room. Ooh, there's lots to do here. Let's start the investigation. Remember to finish it in under 5 minutes or we'll get kicked out. Don't worry about it. I've got more than enough brain power for the both of us. Let's do this. Interesting. Alright. Well, let's get investigating. The balcony didn't lead to a view of the parking lot. Instead, there was a sad reminder that we were still in an apartment pretending to be a hotel room. What's that notice say? It just says don't jump off the balcony. Like I'd be able to in the seconds left in this impossible countdown. Yes, so please stop kidding around and solve the mystery. Alright. What about over here? The smoke detector's busted. Good. I hate those things. I was only making a pancake. Come on. This seems like a personal issue. Someone spilled wine on the carpet. Gross. They're letting it ferment in a sophisticated way. Only true connoisseurs know that carpet-soaking wine give it the richest flavor and the oakiest texture. I don't think that's right. Just having some fun, Mouse. He clearly didn't know that crime scenes were supposed to be fun. Oh, that's news to me. Mr. Turnip. Looks like those turnips didn't agree with him. Are there turnips somewhere in the room? Is that the solution? Just a joke, Mouse. I know. I was also trying to make a joke. Good thing he was a detective and not a stand-up comedian. Alright, so can we be clicking? Nope, no be clicking. Okay. Someone just left this rain jacket lying here on the floor? This is supposed to be evidence, right? A good detective would probably examine it for clues. Well? Oh yeah, let's do that. Aha! A bloody handprint. Wait, bloody handprint? But the victim wasn't stabbed or anything. True. Time for my ultimate detective technique. I call it giving things a big sniff. Oh my god. Great. I gave the coat a big sniff and instantly regretted it. Ugh! This jacket smells like cigarettes. Cigarettes and wine. So that bloody handprint could be wine? I don't want to smell it again to find out. But you could be right, Mouse. You could be right. He was right. Okay. Baseball tickets. What does this have to do with anything? What does any of this evidence have to do with anything? That's what I've been wondering. What about those cigarettes? Never seen that brand before. Guess it's just something they made up for this contest. Props to the props department. 2 tickets for the Yankees. And 20 cigarettes. Someone tipped over the coat rack. Too bad. I'm not here to clean up someone else's mess. Okay, but it's probably part of the mystery, right? Oh, right. Or was it? Couldn't the coat rack have just fallen on its own? Maybe it isn't supposed to be lying on the floor. True. We'll have to keep that in mind. What's behind this door? I don't know. Just open it, Hackett. Oh, it's a bathroom. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, usually there's bathrooms in hotels. It appears to be a bathroom. But looks can be deceiving. We better investigate. Right behind you. I don't see anything. Other than a bathroom cleaner than my grandmother's candy bowl after she invited me over for her backgammon tournament. Did you check the sink? Yes, Mouse. Did you look in the tub? Yes, Mouse. The bathroom seemed to be there for realism. Alright, nothing to be found in here. You've been a great help, Mouse. Thanks! Too skittish to look in a bathroom? That was a bit too far. Looks like we found all the evidence. Now let's get to solving this mystery. Yeah. So what are you thinking, Mouse? Maybe he'd just tell me the answer. What am I thinking? I'm not sure. The bonus question in the case file says name the irrelevant evidence. The problem is that every piece of evidence seems to be irrelevant. I don't know what any of it means. Oh. Hey, maybe that's it. Everything is irrelevant. There's no mystery at all. Case closed, let's get out of here. I don't think it's that simple, Hackfish. Hackfish? Mouse kept glancing about and fidgeting nervously. He was obviously thinking about the 5-minute limit, which was drawing ever closer. As for me, I was getting pretty tired, and being next to a comfy-looking bed didn't help. Maybe we should figure out how the victim died. That seems like the best way to start. Hey, not a bad idea. Let me get into character. What? I'll pretend to be the victim. That way I can get in their head and figure out how they died. Is that your method? Method? What's that mean? Okay, I guess it's worth a shot. I lay down on the bed. Say you're a simple guy. You're married. You've had a tough day and you're away on a business trip. I settle into the fold mattress. So the first thing you try to do is get some rest. And you slowly fall asleep. Hello? Shh, I'm investigating. Attic! We're running out of time! Ugh, right. Let's think this through, okay? We know the wife is the murderer. But how did the victim die? While Mouse was talking, I was eyeing the cigarettes. Hey, Mouse, got a lighter? I tried to sound innocent so he wouldn't suspect my intentions. I doubted he'd approve of me smoking the evidence. Hackett, you're brilliant! Hey, you got my name right that time. The cigarettes! What was he talking about? I reluctantly got off the bed. Mouse, I know smoking kills, but it's not a quick process. That's true. What do you think of this? Those cigarettes are the method of death, but not for long-term health risks. There's another piece of evidence that could speed up the process a whole lot. Mouse's stutter was gone. Was that because he was excited? In any case, I had to figure out what he was talking about. Or I'd be revealed as the idiot instead of the dashing, brilliant detective everyone thought me to be. Interesting. I don't see what the wine would have to do with it. I also don't see what the jacket would have to do with it. Maybe the tickets? It is weird that there are 2 tickets there. Next to the cigarettes. That is kind of strange. I'm gonna go with the tickets. Seems weird. Aha! He was watching baseball and smoking at the same time. He got distracted by the game and burned himself alive. What? The dummy isn't burned. That's not quite where I would have gone with that, but I guess it makes sense. I was thinking like maybe the tickets, like, I don't know, maybe they like had some kind of poison on them and holding the ticket would get poison on the cigarette, which means that the person that he died while he was smoking, but I don't know, that's probably a stretch. Ah! What had Mouse been talking about? All right, let's go with the wine. Maybe the wine is what we're looking for here. I get it. 2 deadly vices, wine and cigarettes. Don't drink and smoke at the same time. What are you talking about? Uh-oh, that hadn't been what he'd been thinking. I'd have to think some more. Curious to see what the jacket has to do with this. The rain jacket. He'd been wearing the rain jacket while smoking. That killed him. Exactly. Huh? Yes, exactly, because, he was smoking in bed underneath that jacket. What? But if he did that, he would have run out of oxygen and died. Oh, okay. Oh. Yes, it's true. It would have been a very stupid thing to do. But look at the smoke detector. He was so desperate to smoke, he tried breaking it. That must have been why he used the jacket. To keep the smoke from reaching the detector. Oh, wow. That's macabre. Wow. Wow, good work, us. It's incredible what can happen when 2 studly detectives put their enormous brains to work. There is one problem, though. If this murder was actually an accident, then how was the locked room created? We'll have to give the door another look. Sounds good. This was great. I was getting a free ride after all. All right. We will continue this in just a moment. I'm going to quickly do a quick ad break, and then we will be back in 1 minute and 30 seconds. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, I am back. I managed to fix my cow bra. It fits so much better now. And thank you for the drink. I appreciate that. Probably should plug this in so it doesn't die while I am streaming. Alright. Let's continue. Alright, let's examine that door. Darn, it's locked. Guess we'll have to explore the hallways another day. Hackett, please! We only have a few minutes! We have to figure out why this is a locked room mystery. Ah, don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I'm such a liar. Do you have any idea how this door was locked from the inside? I thought you said you knew! That was more generally speaking. The door had been locked when the crime was discovered. But was it locked with the key card, or had the bolt been locked? Maybe this bolt was locked from the outside by wrapping a rubber band around it. You're thinking of the other kind of hotel lock. Ah. Wait a second. I think I figured out how it was locked from the inside. Which means I've solved the case. We've solved the case, Mouse. Together. Right. Totally has no faith whatsoever in my abilities. Was he being sarcastic? I like the little grin there. Mouse had stumbled onto something important. Or maybe he was just stumbling. So usually in a locked room mystery, the killer creates the locked room to make the crime seem impossible. Or to create an alibi. But this time, it was something else entirely. Interesting. He was good at building up the suspense. I couldn't wait. I could wait to hear the solution. He was glaring at me. Was I supposed to say something? Right. I know what I'm doing, and I'm a very smart detective. If I just said it enough, it would be true. It wasn't working. I had to actually come up with a real answer. What was Mouse saying? There was some strange reason for why the room was locked from the inside? Mr. Turnip decided to be a murderer? Yeah, I think that's the only conclusion we have. I've got nothing. Wait! I know! Mrs. Turnip decided she'd had enough. So when she realized Mr. Turnip had accidentally killed himself, she decided to turn it into a locked room mystery. I don't think that makes any sense. She would have been making herself look guilty by creating a locked room. Ugh. Time to try again. Ah! The locked room was an accident, just like the murder was. This whole mystery is one big stupid accident. Yes, that's what I think too. Really? Mr. Turnip killed himself by accident. And the door was locked from inside by accident. The clue is in the wine print on the coat. Mrs. Turnip was the one drinking wine. Mr. Turnip was busy smoking. In the morning, she was probably so hungover she didn't realize she'd died. So she tried to hang up his coat and stumbled out of the room. But she'd put it back on the coat rack so sloppily that it fell over as soon as she left, hitting the door's lock on the way, knocking it into a horizontal locked position. Care to do the honors, Hackett? Wow, he was actually pretty good. I was lucky to have been paired with him. Absolutely. There was something else, though. What are you waiting for? The bonus question. We almost forgot the bonus question. Oh, you're right. Which piece of evidence is irrelevant? That'd be the baseball tickets, obviously. Even I can figure that out. Yeah, you're actually right. That's gotta be it. Submit. Actually, right? Who did he think he was? Your final answer was correct, but I regret to inform you that you didn't do well enough time-wise to change floors. You're ranked by floor? Sort of. There are 50 pairs of detectives and 4 floors. The 4th floor detectives get to keep their partners in the first stage. In subsequent stages, all detectives get to do so, provided of course that both partners actively help with deductions. Wait, hold on. Doesn't that mean that me and Mouse have to change partners? I think that's what he's saying, yeah. Correct. I'm sorry about your loss and stuff. Now please make your way towards the waiting room at the end of the hall, where you will wait for the next round. We'd gotten through the mystery. I could scarcely believe it. We make such a great team. Yes, but I was the one doing all of the work. That's fair. Even though Mouse wasn't going to be my partner next round, I was cautiously optimistic. I was excited to see who I could lean on for deductions next. Oh my god, this guy is just... He's just a freeloader, but the detective version of a freeloader. A free thinker? No, that's a good thing. A thought sponge? No, I don't know what that is. I'm trying to say words. I don't really know what they mean. I'm also trying to fix my glove right now. I'm sorry. All right, Chapter 3, Gathering Snippets. After solving the first locked room mystery, Detective Hackett has moved on to an intermediate stage, the waiting room. What answers await him in there, in the depths of the mysterious detective contest? It was 5 minutes after the Game Master had obliterated any hope I had of finishing the competition. I was already irritated at the last-minute switch. Mouse had been the perfect mix of stupid, yet smart. Too stupid to realize I wasn't doing any work, and smart enough to solve cases for me. Well, I didn't expect that. It's okay. I'll make it to the finals, then there'll be a greater chance of us getting paired again. He gave me a tentative thumbs up. Yeah, that won't happen. Oh, I guess not, yeah. I subtly cut our conversation short. No point in being sentimental. Besides, I was busy wondering what my new partner would be like. Suddenly, my sharp mind trap snapped shut upon an excellent idea. Maybe I'd be able to find one of those top 5 detectives in the waiting room. I didn't really care if it was someone in 6th or even 10th, but if I got paired with someone really skilled, the next round would be cake. Of course, the selection process was probably as random as a penguin on a Hawaiian beach, but it couldn't hurt to know thine rival, or whatever. I scanned the crowd of detectives for someone who looked like they knew something when it hit me. Terrible smell. It was a large detective standing in the corner. His partner had somehow held out against this guy's putrid cologne, and they'd solved the case in time to make it to this room. With a smell like that, I bet he'd done nothing but watch other people listen in, since nobody with olfactory organs would sit near enough to strike up a conversation. My god, this guy has a thing against sense. If all he did was listening, my incredible intuition told me he was the one with the answers. Answers were what I needed. I took a deep breath and headed towards him. Hi, so what's your name? I'm Detective George. Is there anything I can help you with? He had a deep voice that matched his heavy-set body type. I can't do a deep voice. I'm sorry. I would hurt my throat. It would not go well. I'm Detective Hackett. Ew! What? My breath had run out, forcing an awkward sound from my lips. I cleverly hid it with a short cough and continued. I was wondering if you'd heard anything about the fabled top 3 detectives. Why would I tell you? Because I'm super trustworthy. See this smile? Don't you just trust it? I gave him my stunning smile, which has been said to make news anchors kill themselves. Oh my god! Well, it's not like it's sensitive information or anything. Okay, I'll tell you what I know. Great! The 3rd highest is incredibly eccentric. I don't remember his name, but it's a bunch of numbers. The 2nd highest is said to be able to tap into a criminal's mindset, solving the crime through an extreme form of empathy, or so the rumor says. The number 1 detective is no secret. Her name is Red July. She solves cases by looking at the big picture while simultaneously concentrating on the small details. Her great imagination fills in the gaps, creating causes for the effects. Hope that helped. Goodbye. Hold on a minute. Yeah? Can you point me towards any of these guys so I can talk to them directly? I have a few questions I need to ask them. Couldn't even if I wanted. We're not in the right rating room. There are 4 floors in each building, each with its own rating room. When the first round begins, it's random. But now that the ranks have been assigned, the top 15 detectives are on the 4th floor. We're on the 2nd floor, remember? Wait, you're saying that after the first round, the game masters order the floors from least skilled to most skilled, with the 4th floor being the most skilled? You got it. I see. Then the only way I'll talk to them is if I make it within the top 15. No, more like top 6, since the cutoff list shrinks every round. At your level, 6 is pretty optimistic. What was that supposed to mean? If you get stuck with good partners, I'm sure you'll do fine. See you next round. I waved him off drowsily. My brief date with the hotel bed had made me sleepy. A detective who looks at the big picture but still sees the details. That was the top-ranked detective's method? It didn't seem deductive or calculative, it seemed intuitive. Like my method! Maybe there was a way to become as good as the great detective in the competition by just doing what I've done my entire life. I had a feeling Coles was full of crap, and maybe it was true after all. It was definitely something to think about. My eyes scanned the room. Maybe, even if I couldn't talk to George, there'd be someone else I could talk to. Maybe one of them? The only new person in this room is that guy with the mask on his face. I find it kind of weird that she's in this room and she's not a detective. So let's talk to her. How's it going? We're not really supposed to talk to detectives. What? Well, you can talk to me, right? I'm trying to be polite, Mr. Thinks with Fists. Our amazing romantic comedy story was off to a great start. I had a question about the names. Are we allowed to give out our real names? No. Absolutely not. If you did that, you'd be expelled from the contest immediately. I'm just kidding. So does that mean you can tell me your real name? No. Well, this was getting awkward. Without warning, the Game Master's musical tune chimed out. As always, it was as lovely as an opera singer with throat cancer. Oh my goodness. This announcement is not to announce the next round, but rather to celebrate the previous one. I introduce you to the criminal duo that cracked eternally checked in, Mastermind Rose and Mastermind Sparks. A door opened in the back room, and the two sleep-deprived criminals approached. Their beady eyes stared into my soul like a working pair of X-ray specs. There was an awkward silence as the detectives in the room wondered if they were expected to clap for them. Finally, an older detective stood from his place on a particularly cushy couch. How exactly does the other side of this competition work? Rose cleared her throat. It's fairly complex, but I'll try to explain it in a plebeian manner. Already I hated her. For us, there are 2 phases in every round. Invention and replication. In the invention phase, we create the crime using props provided by the Game Master. The invention phase is ranked by skill, not time. Then, in the replication phase, the criminals race against the clock to replicate the crime the winner invented to place in the rankings. Like you, we also rotate partners in between rounds. Being good at replication helps you stay in the contest, but winning invention means you become a celebrity of sorts and rise to the top of the ranking. That's right, I'm famous now. Me, Mastermind Rose. It looked like Rose had more to say, but the usual dirgeful melody coming from the speakers cut her off as she began her next sentence. I'm sorry, but the question period will have to be discontinued, as the second round of the first stage is ready. What? I had more to explain. Please make your way down the hallway to your assigned number. That's not fair. I didn't even get to answer a question. Mastermind Sparks drifted out of earshot as I was forcefully pushed by the crowd into the hallway. Doors were slamming all around me. I had no idea where to go. Hackett, you're in room 12. Oh, thank you. I hurried inside the room as fast as I could. Turns out, it wasn't worth it. 3 guesses to who my new partner was. Oh, dear. Chapter 4. These glasses hide steely eyes. Detective Hackett has just learned more about the mysterious detective contest he has entered, and now it's on to round 2. Time to meet his new partner. Oh, I bet I know. You're late. I find tardiness remarkably annoying. It was my new partner, Coles. Oh yeah? Sue me. I'd already suffered through some elitist crap while hearing Rose talk. I was about to make a few more insulting remarks, but before I could, that grating assortment of notes was heard once again. Detective Hackett and Detective Coles, I welcome you to Stage 1. Round 2. This mystery has been titled, How You See Me. Please take a look at the case file to understand the context of the crime. Mr. Ant was found dead in his manor at 6:30 a.m. Only one suspect was arrested, Mr. Disco. However, Mr. Disco claims it must be suicide, since there was no way for him to enter the locked room where Mr. Ant was found. You do not have access to the autopsy report. The door was locked with a complex mechanism that can only be opened from the inside of the room. Special bonus, how did Mr. Ant know Mr. Disco? Alright. He paused, probably waiting for questions, but neither I nor the thinking man had any. The investigation begins. Now. Apparently the game master hadn't yet given up his dreams of being a melodramatic cornball. Just to be clear, I'm not going to help you solve this case. What? You're my partner. We work together. You weren't planning on working together. You were just going to pretend to be trying to let me solve it for you. Yeah, I was. But I guess you're not smart enough. What? Why else would you still be on the 2nd floor? Only the stupid people stick around here. If you were smart, you'd be up there on the 4th floor, right? Actually, I've developed a strategy. You see, I solved the last case in under a minute. Good enough to challenge the top 3. I've solved this one already as well. However, I don't want to be stuck with a stupid partner, so I'm waiting for a good one before I challenge the master detectives. Wait a minute, don't the partners rotate every round? What's the point of waiting for a good partner if you're going to lose them right away? Actually, when you're in the top 3, your partner doesn't change anymore. It doesn't surprise me that you don't know that, since they don't tell you anything unless you ask. He walked over to a corner and laid down. What are you doing? I promised myself that if he started snoring, I'd kick him. I'm waiting. Did you think I was going to challenge the top 3 with a partner like you? When the timer's almost out, I'll call out the solution, then I'll wait for the next mystery. I'll continue this process until I find someone who isn't a complete simpleton. Out of all the people I could have partnered with, I got an uncooperative jerk who refused to carry the workload himself. Kind of like me, but less handsome and modest. If I wanted to move up in the rankings, I'd have to convince him to solve the case right away, and fast. We'd already wasted more time than a do-it-yourself car wash. Okay, you got me. Or do you? What if I've already solved it as well? All I need to do is shout out the answer right now. You're an idiot. I've already imagined every possible scenario. If you did know the answer, there would be no disadvantage to me, since you would prove that you're smart enough to move on to the top 3. What if I shout out a wrong answer and I disqualify both of us? Every wrong answer is ignored. The only answer that matters is the right one. So I'll just randomly guess until I find the answer. I was grasping at straws, but maybe he'd buy it. Doubt you'd figure out in time to do any damage. The minutes passed, so we'd only get a runner-up spot at most, and I'd be able to change partners instantly, since the rotation only locks if you make it to the top 3. Now, nice try. I too sat on the floor, out of ideas. I glanced over at the dummy. Suddenly it all seemed a little sad. Coles was ignoring the competition and playing with the rules. He reminded me more of a criminal than a detective. 4 minutes slipped by. It really felt unproductive just to sit there. And frustrating. The whole time there was a slight smile on Coles' face. He really ticked me off. What ticked me off the most was that there was nothing I could do. After 7 minutes had gone by, Coles stood up carefully, taking his sweet time. He cleared his throat, then a few more times for a good measure despite me. Wow, that was probably revealing. The door was locked from the inside when the crime was committed because there was no killer. It was suicide. The man stabbed himself with glass from the picture frame, which was broken, as you can see from the evidence provided. He smirked in my direction. The jingle was heard again. Detective Coles. There is a reason you are not on the 4th floor, and it isn't because you're attempting to manipulate the system. It's because you're wrong. There was no stab wound on the dummy, therefore he was not killed by a shard of glass. Cole's jaw dropped to the floor. If you want to stay in this competition, you'll need to submit a correct deduction within the next minute and 50 seconds. Coles clutched his face in a panic. Haha! It served him right for being such a conceited jerk. Then I remembered that if he didn't solve the mystery, we'd both get the boot. Suddenly, my panic mode was activated as well. I thought you said you solved it before I even walked in. That was a lie, you fool. It took me 4 minutes to come up with that answer. I did all the mental work when I was lying on the floor. And you forgot to check the body? Is this amateur hour? Coles hung his head in shame. There was barely any time left. There was only one thing to do. Solve the mystery. Oh, we only have 2 clues. Okay. Mr. Ant had a roughed up look, like he'd fallen in coal, or had been burned. Smoke asphyxiation. Try again, Hackett. There was something very suspicious next to the dummy. A broken picture frame with a few glass shards still sticking to the wood. Glass, dummy. Glass, dummy. I kept racking my brain, but it was so large that it moved very slowly. There had to be other clues in the room that I wasn't considering. Time for a more thorough search. This case was already tougher than the last one, with practically no evidence. There was one difference, though. Was there a window in the last room? No, or rather, it wasn't as large. It's part of the mystery, I'm sure of it. Think, Coles. Coles stumbled backwards until his back rested against the wall. It's just... now I can't think of anything else. Well, don't just give up. I can't do it. We only have a minute left. Well, he was useless. There was a strange patch on the wall. Maybe there'd been a painting of Mr. Ant. Maybe there could be a painting of me. Who wouldn't love that? It was hopeless. Hopeless. I fell to my knees, clutching the broken picture frame. My face was reflected in the broken glass, which had been polished so much I could see every scowl line in full detail. At least I'd go out looking an incredibly handsome man. Ah! Ah! I solved it! Awesome job, me! If you've solved it, then spit out the answer before we lose. Go on. I'll follow your lead. Make your deduction. I couldn't believe it, but Coles was actually trusting me to figure it out. Or was he just being lazy? Yeah, there wasn't any time to get annoyed by it. It was time to make a deduction. I added the evidence I discovered to the case file. Let's look at that. Mr. Disco. Interesting. Go ahead, Hackett. There's very little time left. Make your deduction. This case is actually pretty simple. It clicked into place as soon as I realized. This isn't glass at all. It's polished glass. Wow. So what? That means that this piece of evidence is actually... a mirror. A mirror! That does change things. I was sure it was glass. Me too at first. It's so weird that I thought that. But anyway, from the victim's state, I think it's safe to say he caught on fire. What? You can't be sure. Well, what else would it be? I don't know, but you're making a lot of assumptions. If you don't, you'll never solve the mystery. Moving on. What's a good way to light someone on fire? The answer is obvious. A magnifying glass. The killer, Mr. Disco, focused sunlight through a magnifying glass. Mr. Ant was fried. Ha! That was a congratulatory ha, not a derisive ha. Thank you. I accept tips. Hurry it up, Hackett. So that brings us back to the mirror. The mirror. Here's how the mirror was used. Oh, crap. I hadn't figured out what the mirror was for yet. I would have to rely on my patented wing it style. To reflect the sunbeam, obviously. The mirror reflected the sunbeam, which hit Mr. Ant while he was by the bookshelf. Wow, that actually made sense. Didn't expect that. He caught on fire and died because he couldn't undo the lock in time. I think that wraps up everything. Don't think I'm impressed, Hackett. This was an easy mystery. It's only the first stage. I smile to think of the terrors that await you. If it was so easy, why couldn't you solve it? Cole's eyes twitched. It was time to put a big red bow onto this gift of a mystery. I felt pretty good about it. There's something else we need to do, but I don't know what. I believe you're thinking of the bonus. It's not really necessary, but I will do it anyway. The extra challenge is to figure out how Mr. Ant knew Mr. Disco. If we look at your solution to the mystery, Mr. Disco was probably near the window. So he could have been the gardener. However, the window is high off the outside floor. I think we can assume the same is true for the house in the mystery. So he used a ladder. No, shut up. If we assume that Mr. Disco was in a house next door, what seems to be suggested by the nature of the mystery is Mr. Disco was Mr. Ant's neighbor. I wonder if you're right. We'll find out soon enough. Congratulations, you solved the case. Your final score on this mystery, 100%. I'm very impressed. But who cares? My opinion doesn't matter. However, there is some bad news. You're dead last, in 45th place. Stop waffling about with your deductions, and Coles, maybe stop lying on the floor instead of solving the mystery. It's a terrible idea. Coles looked like he'd stepped into a mountain of roadkill. You're going to need to improve quickly, or you will be eliminated. Please keep that in mind going into round 3. Now please make your way to the elevators. You've both been demoted to the first floor. Guess my chance to meet the top tier detectives was all but gone. All because of Coles. What a jerk. Thanks for demoting me with your long-winded deduction. Not. Excuse you? Who was it that lay on the floor for 7 minutes again? Oh, you were counting? Why weren't you solving the mystery instead? I admit I didn't have an answer for that one. I'm looking forward to switching partners. So am I. Good thing this nightmare was over. Partner switching may be random, but that doesn't mean you won't end up with the same partner. It's a 22 to 1 chance, but it's not nothing. What? Why would you say that? Well, if it annoys you so much, maybe it won't be so bad. I must admit, you weren't entirely useless. It was begrudging, but it was something. Was something something? Maybe I'd find out. In the next round. Alright, we done it. Hello? Testing, testing. I'm getting too old for this crap. Nice. Okay. All right. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a minute and 30 seconds. really surprised how well this fits, honestly. I'm back. I hope that you enjoyed your break and your little ads. I hope that you went pee, which worry you definitely didn't. I see that now. So, we're on chapter 5. The mysterious contest for detectives is still in its early rounds. But who's pulling the strings behind this competition? Now for a look into the office of the elusive game master. Looks like we're gonna meet our potential maybe villain. In a large monitor with its screen nearly covered with post-it notes, I could just barely see the last few contestants on the second floor heading into the waiting room. Who's that one? I pointed to a generic-looking detective in a stereotypical fedora and trench coat getup. The only way he could be more cliché is if he wore a deerstalker over that fedora. Detective Hackett. He's on your floor, right? Oh, there's multiple Game Masters? Oh. Yeah, but he's moving to your floor next round. He's a bit of a drongo. You got that right. Who shows up to a detective competition in a trench coat? It's so unprofessional. We try so hard to be professional around here. It's a detective thing, whatever. He turned back to his desk. We were in the watching room, a hidden room on the 5th floor, which was restricted to contest runners only. Great. That floor's clear. I pushed a large button on the desk in front of me that read Clear Floor 2. Hey, Greg? I don't mean to step out of line, but you just pushed the button for my floor. My bad. Guess you were too slow to stop me. He made a half-hearted fist and shook at me lazily. Don't make me angry. I slid back over to my desk, which was for floor 1. It was a boring desk because everyone always took so long to solve the cases. At least I'd only have to hold out until the 3rd round ended. That's when we shut down floor 1, because by then the cutoff line is short enough. Hey guys, you gotta come over here. She ran the 4th floor desk, which I was really jealous of. At least I got to announce the opening contest rules. Me, Clark, and Kane, who ran floor 3, crowded around Mellie's desk, gazing at the monitor. Unlike our desks, Mellie's was more organized, and she didn't use post-it notes. Instead, she wrote all over her arms, which were currently covered in the names of detectives with strings of numbers next to them. Nell. That's the one to watch. Why? She doesn't look special to me. Are you saying that just because her name sounds like yours? What? No. I'm just saying, look at the huge jump she took. She made it to the 3rd floor after eternally checked in and actually moved up to the 4th during How You See Me. Wow, and it wasn't just her partners? The videos show her doing more work than her previous partners she's paired with. So I have some questions about this premise. Like, is it like the same room? Do they just like take turns going into the room and solving the crime? And I mean, I guess that has to be the case, right? Because there can't be like multiple of the same room on the floor, unless there is. I don't know. Maybe there is. It's just a little bit weird. I don't know. I like the premise, but I got some questions. I got some questions about it. Also, I feel like it'd be really expensive to make like 15 different versions of one room. Then again, it was done in Resident Evil, so who knows? Maybe these people have money. Oh, thanks for reminding me. I need to announce the partner pairs. Sure thing. She flipped a few switches on her desk. On the 4th floor, contestants know their partners when they enter the waiting room, giving them a slight advantage over the other floors, where the contestants don't know who they're paired with until they enter the mystery room. That gives them a little time to prepare. How did Detective Honor do this time? Honor had just been paired with Red July last round. It seemed to go well. Honor's method is pretty useless in this contest. I hope they don't drag Red July down. Red July has held that first place spot the whole competition. She'll be fine. I know. It's weird how those top 3 spots have been stuck with the same detectives from the start. It's always like this. 3 is a magic number. People see those first and second and third spots, and the gap naturally occurs because they're intimidated. So isn't it that the top 3 detectives... So it isn't that the top 3 detectives are necessarily the most skilled. Right, Clark? He was the oldest and had helped run 2 of the previous detective competitions as a game master. That's right. Alright, guys, back off. I'm going to make the announcement. She pressed the button that said announcement jingle and flipped a switch. Countdown started on an LED display. When it was finished, a light turned on that read live. She started reading off a prepared list of paired detectives when someone caught my eye on the screen on the monitor. I caught Clark's attention with my coffee mug skills and whispered quietly to him. Hey, who's that? Detective 772. It's no wonder you don't recognize him. He always manages to hide from the cameras until the last minute. It's weird how he knows where they all are. Ah, Detective 772. She was finishing the announcement. Is paired with Detective Nell. The live light went dark. That'll be interesting. The lucky rookie and the intelligent eccentric. Does Nell even have a method? Don't know. She won't last long if she doesn't. Everyone in this contest needs the star power of a special gimmick to make them stand out. By the way, Clark, I'm going to need you to write up the agenda notes for the conference on that quadruple murder scheme. Sure, but why can't you do it? Your floor is more mellow than mine. Turns out losers aren't happy campers. It was always a good thing to plan ahead. If being a game master taught me anything, it was that. Nice. Chapter 6. Trickster versus Tricks. The mysterious competition for detectives is about to start its 3rd round. But what's going on where the top-ranking detectives are? The 4th floor. Oh, looks like we get to be someone else now. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and stop here, though. That's been about an hour and 30 minutes. So I think we got a pretty good look at this game. We did the first 5 chapters. It looks like there's quite a few more. Yeah, there's a very interesting premise here. I greatly enjoyed playing this game. It looks like it has a lot of intrigue. It has 100 chapters, so it looks like we're going to see quite a lot of this competition. The characters are interesting, and it seems like they all have their own little quirks and personalities, and that's what I tend to like about most detective fiction that I partake in, like Phoenix Wright, for example, or Professor Layton. So that's that to me is like a hallmark, something that you have to have. So yeah, I greatly enjoyed Methods, the detective competition. I hope that you enjoyed this look at it. Thank you so much again, LockedOn, for giving me the opportunity to play this game and check it out. If you want to check out Methods, it is on Steam right now. You can check it out at the store link here. There is also a demo, which you can check out. And there is a release that just happened on mobile as well. And it's coming to iOS soon too. So there's a lot of different ways you can play this game. We played the Steam version tonight. Who knows? Maybe your experience on the mobile version will be different. But either way, thank you guys so much for joining me for this stream. It's been a little while since I got to read a bunch of voices and stuff like that. So I enjoyed that part. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say that that is going to do it for tonight. So I will see you all. What, is Mel streaming? I know she wanted to, but is she actually streaming? Doesn't seem like it. I guess something must have happened. Oh, she did? I don't see it. Hold on. Where? It's not showing me. Oh, show more. Oh, there she is. Yeah, I just found her. Cool. Okay. All right. So to cap this all off, we're going to raid my partner, Melon Rose. Thank you guys again for being here with me. Thank you so much, Ryan, for the follow and for joining me to check out this game. I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for the key. And yeah, we'll see each other tomorrow for more Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Hope that you guys enjoy hanging out with Mel. She's playing a key of her own. She's going to be playing The Longing, which is a game I don't really know that much about, so I will also be watching it too. All right. Bye, subbies.